Hello everyone, welcome to yet another guide video. Important note, if you are watching this in the later stages of the expansion, please do consider some of the things might have been changed. So let's start with the Conjured Lashers. They have only one major ability to stop, which is Mystic Vapors. If you cannot interrupt it, you can also use stun effects on them. Multiple casts of Mystic Vapors are going to turn lethal really quick. It is dispellable though, so consider getting a must dispel here. Another mob to be careful about is those striking whelps. If you go inside their AoE, they cast Strike and call additional mobs, which we don't want to. We will get them in the later stages of the dungeon. You can get past them without triggering any. And we have these Arcane Tenders. They have two abilities. First being the Wild Eruption, which also leaves infused ground ichor that you must not step inside. And the second ability is Erratic Growth, which stuns a player. You should focus interrupting that one. It can also be dispelled in case any goes through. And here we have Bubbling Saplings. When they die, they explode, which is similar to the mobs that the boss spawn in the fight. We'll get to that. So after you kill these three Arcane Tenders, the first boss will spawn. So the first boss is quite easy. Boss will summon Leyland Sprouts, which looks like trees. Everyone is responsible to clear them with the Explosive Brand, or else the Consuming Stump will consume the remaining sprouts and probably do huge amount of damage. So clearing is the main focus of the fight. And every time you clear a Leyland Sprout, it will spawn volatile saplings, which explodes upon death, like Bubbling Sapling. So as a tank, use mitigation on infused strikes and pre-position Erupting Fissure, which is a frontal spell that will also help you clearing the sprouts. And as a healer, top everyone up while explosive brand is happening. And depending on how many sprout left, use a major healing cooldown to save the party.
Of my vault was chosen to harness and make use of this powerful ley line. While a marvel to behold.
You can get past these three striking whelps just by waiting, since their AoE shrinks and it expands. Just wait and we have arcane elementals, which also have two major abilities. First being is a damaging ability called Arcane Bolt, and the second one is Wailing Bane, which puts a player to sleep. You can also dispel that, but in the later stages of the dungeon it will be important. So after you use the first book of translocation, your party will have 2 buffs from the pool of 5 buffs. The one you need to care is Scornful Haste. That circle also gives a double amount of the haste buff to enemies, so whoever gets it must be mindful. And we got Unstable Curators, Interrupt, Heavy Tome, and Sidestep Forbidden Knowledge, which makes you disoriented. And we have Crystal Fury and Crystal Thrashers. Those are the mobs that you will face if you fail those Shrieking Whelps. So Crystal Fury has a frontal. And Thrasher has a massive AoE, which also roots and periodically casts splinter shards to random players. And we also have Rune Seal Keepers, who has 2 important abilities to stop Condensed Frost and Icy Bindings. If Icy Bindings goes through, you can always use like Blessing of Freedom, Tiger's Lust, etc. There's a neat skip here, jumping skip. I don't know, we will be using this on Mythic Plus. It will be like depending on the route, but pretty useful on Mythic Zeros. Just use your like slow fall abilities or abilities that prevent fall damage, such as Disengage, Blink, or Leap. And we got Vault Guards, which are tank buster mobs, who has Ice Cutter and Brilliant Scales. You can use Purge, Tranquilizing Shot, Arcane Torrent, Spell Steal, etc. to remove them. And we have Astral Attendants, has Unstable Power, which you need to sidestep them, but it might be comboed with other rooting abilities like Ice Bindings. So be mindful about them. And we got a mini boss circling around the Azure Blade, called Scalebane Lieutenant. It is like a Vault Guard, but has Mage Hunter's Fervor, which gives 25% damage increase. So taking him solo is advised. And we got Azure Blade, which is a bit scuffed, I believe. This boss will summon draconic images, which also cast illusionary bolt. We need to focus them, and when they die, they cause unstable magic, which we need to sidestep. During the overwhelming energy phase, we focus kill illusions and dodge the orbs. Illusions also cause unstable magic after their demise. So as a tank, you need to care for the arcane clave, which boss does occasionally. And as a healer, overwhelming energy phase will be pain, so
Poor Azure Lady. I do not blame her. I should have thought of her before I left. This door. I sense a breach behind it. The sundered flame must be this way.
and we got draconic breakers. We'll choose a random player and shoulder slam them. This has a knockback effect, so be careful about it. And we got null magic Hornswoggle, who has null stump. We need to avoid those. And thoracic looters, which has a bleed effect. You can use like blessing of protection or stone form for them. I believe that's what we skip with a jumping strat is the part will be difficult on the mythic plus side. This is where you need to be careful about the shoulder stand. And here comes the tail ash graving.
I am out of range.
Who will periodically cast frost bombs, and upon expiration it turns to frozen ground. So space management is the most important thing on this boss. And it has an intermission phase. Upon reaching 100 energy, absolute zero, we come, and the boss will shield himself, so you don't need to focus on attacking him. Just focus getting inside the vault rooms at the end of the cast. And boss also cast Icy Devastator on a random player. You can use like Vanish, Feign Death, Invisibility. As a tank, focus on the space management, give melee players room to attack, and also slightly get near the vault rooms. Like when boss is almost about to reach like another energy. And as a healer, topping everyone on absolute zero, and focus on the player who got the Icy Devastator. And our final boss is Umbral Skull. It has oppressive miasma which will be present throughout the whole fight. It is a curse, so curse dispellers are welcome. Boss has a brittle intermission at 75%, 50% and 25% of HP. We will focus on detonating crystals, and the boss will mark one of them as hardened crystal, which has an absorb barrier. Focus them out. Failing to do so will apply group-wide damage called fracture, and avoid being hit by crystalline roar. And also we have to dodge the ground effects coming from the arcane eruptions. In addition, it will create a lingering crackling vortex. So as a tank, use mitigation on dragon strikes, and move the boss closer to the crystals if you can. And as a healer, you can dispel that dragon strike, and if fracture goes through, use major healing cooldowns. And boss will also occasionally cast Unleash Destruction. Be ready to top everyone up. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.